Okay, you've just watched me pick this lock, and to explain a little bit more about what's happening, as you know, this part is applying the tension to the front disc, like this. When the last disc is set into place with this, the tension part is what actually drives the cam. The reason being the front disc is what we call a driver disc or a zero disc. To show you on the key what a driver disc actually is, you'll see here there are parts of the key where there's no material cut out. In this case you've got two cuts here. Also the front cut, which is this isn't, that's the second disc where that cut is. So this here is a zero cut, and also at the back, that's an 8 disc lock. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and then 8. So the tension part is hooked into the front disc, which is here, and as you can see, like I said earlier, everything sets at 90 degrees or just a few degrees back. A zero disc sets at 90 degrees, so whenever we zero the discs, the rear disc, these two discs and this disc are already set. What that means is whenever this all lines up, the front disc is set by the tensioner and it drives the cam. But the front disc isn't always a driver disc, that's why they make a rear disc tool. But there is a trick to doing it with this. If I show you the key for another lock just here, that's this one. This is a 7 disc lock. The front disc is actually this one. So if you picture this in your head, whenever we apply tension to this disc, it's a few degrees too far clockwise. So you can set all the other discs, but under tension this one is not set. Hopefully that makes sense. Basically we're tensing it like this, we set all the other discs, but that one needs to be back about this much to actually be set. But you can't just do this with it because it'll be unset and then set, unset. It's not a driver disc, that one won't actually drive the cam. So what we want to do is we want to switch the tension to one of the driver discs, which will be, like I say, this one, or the one at the back. Up to you. You can tell a zero disc whenever you're picking, because this is why we do it 45 degrees back and forwards. Say this is at the zero mark, it won't turn any further to the right, so we'll turn it back and we'll turn it forward, and whenever it gets back to that exact same point you'll feel it click. That's a zero disc. So what you want to do is, if everything feels set but it's not opening, you want to go to one of those zero discs, which could be at the back or in the middle, and apply tension like that. Then you want to align the front disc by turning this back, and assuming everything is set properly, whenever this clicks into place, the tip of the pick is what will actually drive the cam, like that, and that's what opens the lock. So I'll actually demonstrate this for you so you can see what I mean with this lock now. Okay, just to cut the video time down a bit, I've done the picking part of this already. See, this isn't turning because all the other discs are set apart from the front one. So I'm going to get on to one of the driver discs. In this case I'll go with the one at the back. So we're now applying tension to the back. You'll feel resistance in this whenever you try to turn it now, and whenever it lines up, that's it, and it turns. So it's actually the tip of the pick which is driving the cam as opposed to the tension part. If I lock it back up again, as you see, it won't turn. I'll get on to the back disc again, and without any tension on it, I'm going to turn the front disc right the way back. Oops. Sorry, I'm trying to get onto the fucking back disc just to show you this. God damn. Yeah, there we go. So now whenever I turn this forwards, because there's a bit more movement now, and that's it lined up, and that part again turns it and drives the cam. Hopefully that makes sense. If you need more in-depth instruction on that, you can send me a private message or talk to me on the forum. That's pretty much it. Just to close the video, I'm going to look at some troubleshooting, because not every lock is nice. So we'll look at that, and that'll be everything. Okay, just to finish the video, like I said, not every lock wants to play ball. There are a few different things that can happen. First of all, like I said, you want to go in, if you're picking the lock as normal and it doesn't open, switch tension to one of the driver discs with the tip of the pick, turn the tension part back. If everything's lined up properly, then the pick tip will drive the cam, and that's you. If that doesn't work, it could be a couple of things. First thing is this part of the tensioner. I have noticed that some locks, well, quite a lot of locks actually, this seems to tension the front two discs instead of just one. 99% of the time this isn't actually a problem. Don't ask me why, but it's not. But if you're having real trouble with it, try pulling it out just a couple of mil. Make sure it's actually on just the one disc and not two, and you might have a bit of better luck that way. Another thing, obviously, if it doesn't go in deep enough to tension the lock, you've got a couple of options. One, you can use the rear disc tool. Exactly the same thing, except you're tensioning with this part, you're picking with this part. If the rear disc isn't the driver, again, just switch the tension to one of the driver discs with this part, rotate the tension part back, and the pick tip, you know, the paddle or whatever you want to call it, will drive the cam. It's the exact same, just the other way around. Alternatively, you can, if you're good at making stuff, you can make like a little metal sleeve, as long as it's nice and thin, to go over this, to go in a couple of extra millimeters to get at the front disc. You could do that as well, or you could just make a pick. There's a Dutch guy called Boots who makes a very good homebrew, so if you look up his video on making a homebrew tool, you could try that. That's about it really. The only other thing that I've run into is sometimes you'll get a lock with very, very stiff discs, as in you'll go in, you'll actually be able to feel the discs binding and setting without any tension at all. They are an absolute pain in the arse. The feedback is really terrible, and you need quite a lot of tension to actually turn as well. So if you don't want to break your pick, I really wouldn't advise trying that. If the lock is really stiff, then just get a new one. Obviously, if you're a working locksmith and you run into this, if the discs are really stiff and you can't pick it, you can drill the cylinder out, or you can do whatever it is you normally do. We're not going to talk about that here. But that's pretty much everything. I hope this has been helpful. And again, if you've any questions, let me know. And don't do anything illegal. So thanks very much for watching, everybody. Bye bye.